Hello, and thank you for being with us today on our Acorn Life Mastery YouTube channel. I am so happy to have you here with us and just appreciate that you are following us. If you haven't liked our channel yet or subscribed to it, please do so now. And also, if you hit the little notification button so when we go live like this, you get notified, I'd love for you to do that as well. So, today I'm talking about, I did Rascal Radio, as you know, a lot of us do that. And we just find so many different things from it. Today, what I listened to was by Manessa Fontu and Lisa Fotu, and the name of it is "This Is Big." And I'm like, okay, that's gonna be interesting because just that title, right? And what it's talking about is she was actually talking about earlier on the leadership skills and about how Washington actually hired someone to come in and train, help his forces when he was first, attacking for Valley Forge and all that. And what my takeaway from that was is that a good leader also takes leadership from others, right? Because we're all talking about being leaders and being, and whether are you a leader or are you a follower? And some people are a leader and some aren't. And there's a difference between being a good leader and just being a leader. And one of the things that really realized is that because Washington was we all know he was a leader, but he was wise enough in his leadership to bring someone in that had more skills or knowledge in a certain area that he had. So to me, that was like, okay, so as a leader, if you're not good at something, and you may not be good at certain areas, I mean, not everybody's good at everything, right? We all have our strengths and we all have areas that we can improve in. But a good leader is going to bring in someone who is really good in that area. And then a good leader is also going to be able to edify other leaders because you want to recognize and just edify a person who's a really good leader. You will has no problem edifying someone else. You know, recognizing their specific greatness because each of us in our own way is great. And if we can be humble enough to show that respect to another leader, in my personal opinion, that just makes us an even better leader, right? It's about sharing the wealth for me. And the other thing that kind of came out to me is that a good leader recognizes the strengths of others and is able to meet them where they're at because we all are going to meet people in different places in our lives and in their lives where they may be really strong in one area but not so strong in another area. As a leader, we help them develop those areas that they're not so strong in. And we do it with humility and with grace. Um, because you never want to beat someone down. The ideal is not to, break them to make them who they are. It's to really be able to compliment, encourage, edify that person for all they do have as strength. And that's so totally away from what so many of the different programming and the school systems and things do. They point out all the things that you do wrong. And it's important, I feel, as a leader that we recognize that we don't always know where someone's at emotionally, physically, what's going on in their life, spiritually, whatever. And it all comes down to why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are they doing what they're doing? What's their purpose? What's their reasoning? Because sometimes they may not have a why yet. They may not have a understanding of what they're doing or why they're doing it or what they even want to do. Um, and it's important for everyone to have a dreams and goals for your life and to commit to them. And like we're looking at 2021, right? We just finished 2020 and it's a new year. And for a lot of us here at Acorn, I've already put together our vision for what we want for 2021. Some of us are creating vision boards. We had a really great intro workshop last week and this Saturday. You're welcome to join us for the actual application of that to see how people came. But we look at those things because, like, what are your dreams and what are your goals? And like for me, I choose a word every year. For 1 year, it was for belief. 1 year, it was abundance. This year, my word is awaken, because that's such a powerful word. And it's not just about waking up in the morning. It's awakening my soul, awaken to the possibilities, awaken to the potential within myself, awaken to the potential of others. And when you're awakened, then you're open, right? You're open hearted, you're open minded, you're seeing things differently. And so when you're looking at your dreams and your goals in your life, then being able to commit to them. One of the great quotes I have for that is, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how," and that was by Friedrich Nietzsche. And that really, if you think about it, because sometimes we get caught up in the how are we going to make this happen? How are we going to do this? How? Well, if you've got your why in place, the how's going to come to you, right? If you just take action, think about what you need to do to move that portion forward and do it. So for me, the three things that I thought about in, you know, this is big. What does that mean to me? And being a leader, leaders are readers. We've all heard that. But seriously, are you reading? Are you taking at least 15 minutes a day and reading? And I'm talking about reading something that's going to improve your life, some type of self development book, something about, like right now, I'm reading Oren's new book that's not even out yet in the presses. It's only out through our Life app. And it's called Expose the Financial Matrix. It's so much, so full of just huge amounts of information about the financial matrix and how that works. And it's put in a way that I can understand it, because a lot of times stuff like that gets way over my head. But he does a phenomenal job of putting it into layman's terms, right? Words that I can understand of how things work and what happened, and how I can escape that financial matrix. So, are you reading? The second one is learn how to interact with people. If you're not really skilled at that, and I'm the shy person, I'm the one that when you walk into the room, I'll find a place to sit. In fact, my heart calls it that, I hold court. Because a lot of times we go, I'll find some place. I may say hello to people I know, but in the past, what I would always do is I'd find some place and I'd sit down, and if people want to talk to me, they would come to me. So that's a skill that I'm still working on, being able to just go into a group of people that I don't know and get to know them and talk to them. One on one, I'm fine. But when I get into a group, it's that skill, that developing that. But even when you're dealing with people one on one, how do you interact with them? Do you listen to them or do you talk more? And if you're really listening to them, then you're listening. You're not trying to figure out what you're going to say next. You're listening to what they're saying. And that may mean that you have to repeat things to yourself in your mind, you know, but stop that other chatter that should figure out how you're going to answer. Just really, pay attention. And then my third takeaway is be a person who has follow through. When I was growing up, this was something I learned growing up, was that we we grew up in a time, at least I did, where your word was your bond. A lot of deals were made on handshakes. I grew up in Texas, and a lot of things were done. If you said you were going to do it, then it was just taken for granted that you were going to do it. And it wasn't even, well, I promise I'll get to that. Because if you said you were going to do it, the promise was already there. You were going to do it. And a lot of times, with how busy the world is, we just don't always follow through. And sometimes we'll follow through for other people, but not for what we say we're going to do for ourselves, which is a huge piece of self confidence if you're not following through for yourself. So that would be my biggest thing that I would like to share with you guys, is be that person who has follow through. Do what you say you'll do. So instead of being the yes person that agrees to everything, you can say yes, it's possible, or yes, we're going to do it. Um, but if you're saying yes, mean it, right? And if you say you're going to do something, then commit to that you're going to do something. If you don't know if you can, if you're not sure, there's nothing wrong with saying, let me think about it, or let me see how I can make that happen. Or even better yet, if it's something that somebody wants to change or do something, being able to say, well, how do you see that happening? How do you get their input, right? Um, That's huge. But the biggest thing is, if you can look yourself in the mirror every night before you go to bed and say, I actually did my best today. I kept my commitments and I followed through on everything I said I was going to do. Then you're becoming an awesome leader. If you're not able to do that, then the second piece of that is to ask yourself, okay, what did I not follow through on? Why did I not follow through on? And what can I do differently? Because until we learn the lessons and do things differently, we keep repeating the pattern, right? So again, thank you guys for listening to our YouTube. I am going to put the link to our Acorn Life Mastery. If you've not joined our Acorn group yet, we have a free community. We'd love to have you in our community. We have a lot of things we offer inside the community. If you're curious about what we're finding is so interesting on Rascal Radio, I will also have a link there for you. You can actually have a 7-day free trial to experience it for yourself. Again, thank you for listening. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hopefully you like this video. If you feel like it will help somebody else, please share it. Thank you and have an awesome day.